Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another unboxing and review. First unboxing and review of 2024, and we're starting the new year off with a bang, and a very obscure one at that. So we're actually going to be unboxing today the Ibertren Start Circuito Digital DCC Ready HO scale model train set. Now I picked this up back when I was on my travels on holiday in October in Spain. Now, from what I'm aware, they are a Spanish model train set and they do also make model cars. Now, I picked this up for €80 in a second-hand model store. Now, the guys assured me it's brand new. I've only taken the top off to have a look. It does all seem to be brand new, as far as I can tell. Now, it was one of those scenarios. He didn't really understand what I was saying. I didn't really understand what he was saying. It was just a lot of nods and pointing, and then we managed to get on a price of €80. Now, from what I can researched, it does actually seem quite a bit of a bargain. But bear in mind, there is very little information on this model company as a whole. The website actually looks like it's been kick and dragged through from 2008. I mean, it's one of those websites where it's just a few little links, click on it, little bit of information, little list of the models, and this one wasn't even on there, so I can really not find much information about them at all. From what I understand, the model kit did retail at €156 originally. Now, I actually still don't think that's that bad. I mean, if we're putting that in today's market in the UK, you're probably talking around £140, something like that. So I generally actually still don't think that's too bad, and I got this for €80, so you're probably talking about £75. So for two locomotives, as well as three pieces of rolling stock, you've got the DCC controller and obviously the main loop and a small little outer loop there. I generally think that's a pretty good deal, but of course we need to get this unboxed, see what the models are actually like and get it down the track. So join me as we unbox the Ibertren Start train set. So yeah, in terms of the set, you do get an 060 steam locomotive as well as a diesel locomotive. As you can see there, both on the left on the box, the steam locomotive at the top and the diesel locomotive at the bottom is sort of like a nice olive green. So we'll get them out and take a closer look. Now, first inspection, looking through the box, it sort of looks like a ventilated wagon that you can see on the box in the picture behind the steam locomotive. And then as well as that, almost looks some sort of like flatbed wagon. And then you can't see it because it looks like the instructions are falling in front of it, but that actually is a tanker, and it's actually got the Shell logo on it. And it looks fairly nicely detailed for what it is. Now, as you can see in the bottom right corner there, you do actually get a main loop, and then you also get a small little passing loop section as well. So it is 107 centimetres by 124 centimetres, so a fairly sized piece of track. And of course, obviously you get the DCC controller as well with it, which is going to be exciting. And obviously we're going to have to sort of try and work this out as we go along, because I have a funny feeling this is all going to be in Spanish and I'm not going to be able to read a word of it. So it is going to be sort of a guessing game, but that's half the fun of it. So I think what we need to do is get the box down and obviously get it open and take a closer look at the models inside. So yeah guys, what we're going to do is we're going to get the lid straight off and get it unboxed. So let's get this lid off and see what we're dealing with here inside. And first things first, I think we should probably have a look at the instructions. For what purpose that's going to serve, I really do not know. Instrucciones Ibertren Start. As I predicted, oh, there is one word in English, general. But other than that, it's all completely in Spanish. I have absolutely no idea at all what any of that is saying. But from what I can depict, obviously it's telling you how to set up the train itself by the pictures, and obviously the loops, and how obviously the control would work, and putting the train down on the track to gain the power. But yeah, that's not going to serve any purpose for anyone, so I'm going to throw that to one side. Now, first things first, obviously I think what we all want to do is see the locomotives first, so I think we'll start with the least superiority first and go for the diesel locomotive. I apologise if I offended any diesel fans out there. I am a diesel fan, I just prefer steam engines, but let's get the diesel out and take a look and see what we're dealing with here. The camera wants to focus, and there's diesel. Now, first impressions, it's quite a nice livery, isn't it? It's nice, sort of like olive green, nice yellow stripe down there. You've got a little bit of detail here in terms of the plates on the bottom. On the top is very minimalistic, but overall it seems quite nice. Very, very minor detail, although it is quite heavy, so it does make me think we do have metal inside this as well. So we'll go in for a closer look at that when we put these down in a sec. So I'll put that to one side for now. Next, I think obviously we all want to go and see the steam locomotive. Apologies about the camera being out of focus there. Doesn't seem to want to focus today, so let's get the steam locomotive out. And there is our 060 steam locomotive. Now I have to say, this actually seems a lot better details. The riveting here is very nice. Obviously you've got the nameplate there as well, so that says Caldus, even though you can't see that on the camera. And you do have the running number here on the plate. No cab details, so that's all blacked in. Very minimalistic again as well, although the weight, there is a lot of weight to this. There's definitely metal in this as well. I wasn't expecting the weight. Now, one thing I will point out as well is that you did have all the chains and everything hanging off the front there on the picture, which doesn't seem to be on here. Now, I'm assuming there's going to be a detail pack in this, but from what I can see, I can't see it unless it's under the power source or something. But overall, fairly nice, to be fair. Yeah, I think we'll put that down. So this is actually number 6. Whether that's real in real life in terms of its depiction, I'm not too sure. But overall, fairly nice models, and the weight alone makes you think these are going to be quite quality runners, and especially in terms of pulling power as well. So next things, what I think we'll get out is we'll get out this ventilated wagon, which looks like a ventilated wagon anyway, or the Spanish version of it. Could be wrong completely. Now this feels a lot lighter, to be fair. This feels a hell of a lot lighter. But overall, quite nice, very simplistic. The roof's actually a very unusual design. Sort of like a flat triangle, like a shed. But overall, quite a nice simplistic design. There still seems to be a little bit of weight in this as well, actually. So at least a few parts at least are metal, even in the rolling stock, which is quite nice. And obviously you've got the little bits of writing on the side there, which by the looks of it tells you how much cargo it can carry in terms of maximum weight, things like that. Overall, quite a nice little wagon there, so we'll put that down to one side. So next, what we'll go ahead and get unboxed is the flatbed wagon, which looks like a flatbed wagon. Anyway, I could be completely wrong here, if the camera decides it wants to focus. There we go, that's a lot better. Oh, one of the bogies, oh dear, we've got a bit of a casualty here, and that has just come straight off whilst it was still in the box. Easily fixed, there we go. Which then makes me question the quality of these. But overall, still quite nice, and there's still a bit of weight to it. Like I said, it says max cargo there. And then obviously you've got the running number of the wagon itself. Feels metal, at least some sort of like die-cast alloy or something like that in the middle. Quite a heavy weight to it still again as well. So overall, yeah, not bad again. So I think we'll put that down, and obviously we'll go in for the final wagon, which is, now everyone can see it, it is the Shell petrol tanker wagon. Now in terms of this, I think this is probably the most nicest detailed out of all of them. The riveting's really nice there. The logo, the Shell logo, really pops. Ladder is a really nice bit of detail, extra detail on this. Again as well, you've got the max cargo weight and everything like this in writing down the side here, and obviously the running number. That's actually really nice, and again as well, that's not plastic, that's some sort of like die cast sort of alloy, so there's still a little bit of weight to it. Overall, a fairly nice little bit of rolling stock there. So overall, I'm fairly happy with the train set so far. So I'm going to put them all down, and then like I say, you've obviously got the DCC controller here, so let's see if we can get this out now. A bit tough, but we've got it. So yeah, that's the DCC controller. And like I say, it's going to be sort of realistically sort of learning as we go here in terms of how this works. But all controllers like this, they're fairly simple, so I don't see any issues in terms of that. Fairly a lot of settings here as well by the looks of it, so I'd be interested to work out sort of what they all mean and what they all do. And then of course you've got the power pack still in there. Now in terms of the power pack, of course, because this comes from Barcelona, and this does originate from Barcelona, if I could get this out, here's second hand, finally got it out. It is obviously a Spanish power pack, so you are going to need an adapter in order to be able to run a train set like this, which luckily I've got, so fingers crossed this is not all going to be a massive waste of time and it's going to work. And then of course obviously you've got the curves, you've got the short curves, you've got two sets of points, and then you've got the straights there as well, and then obviously you've got the power source that goes into the track. So I think what we need to do is get all the track out, set it all up, and obviously see how the locomotives perform.
Platform 8 for the 22-28
So there is the track finally set up and down on the floor. All the power plugs are plugged in and all ready to go. I have got the Spanish plug adapter, so fingers crossed this is going to work and hopefully the locomotives are going to run. Now I don't know if you saw that in the makeup video there that I did, but I actually did originally set it up the wrong way round, and there was a bit of track spare, and which I did think was unusual, to which obviously when I realised I did it the wrong way round, I have reset it up, so now we've got the full track all set down here, ready. Power point is plugged in here, and then obviously you've got the power link plugged in between the loop as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this is all going to go and run. Bear in mind, it all depends on my Spanish adapter and how well it's going to perform in terms of the power source to the track. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll set down the locomotive on the track and we'll see how they get along. Now first up to bat will be the diesel locomotive. I actually think it looks very smart down there on the track. Now like I say, this is a Spanish DCC power source adapter, so I have no idea how this is going to perform, and this is going to be a bit of a guessing work in terms of my side of things, in terms of function and everything. But if I'm reading this right, then what we want to do is we want to hit function, we want to hit ready in that direction, and we'll see if it works. And it's not working when I turn the dial, so let's try that again. Function 1. Start moving. Oh, and it's moving. Wow. It's moving at quite a pace. Definitely working. Speedy little thing. Okay, so the diesel locomotive does seem to work and has got quite a little bit of speed behind it. Obviously you won't want to run that down on the track at that kind of speed. I'm going to have to fiddle around obviously with the control, and fingers crossed we can get it at sort of a nice steady speed going forward. But yeah, it does seem to work. I do wonder if I was to hit... Oh, and clearly I pressed the wrong button and it's off again. So we'll get it stopped. There we go. Now I do wonder if I hit function instead. We're going to hit function, we're going to hit 2. And it doesn't seem to want to do something when it does that. Okay. That's not a bad slow start. So we'll hit direction. Fairly noisy, and it is moving, so not bad, to be fair. Quite a nice crawl there to start with. Yeah, that's functioning fairly nicely. And we've now got it at a nice steady speed. So there's the steam locomotive down on the tracks. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the direction forwards. We're going to press stop and let's see if she does move. She's not moving yet. Nice and steady. Press stop. We'll go backwards. Not bad. Not bad at all. And what we'll do is we'll put it forward, and obviously we'll go nice steady speed now. Stalled there slightly. Keeps stalling slightly. Doesn't seem to be running as smoothly as the diesel locomotive did, but overall not bad. It just seems to be stalling in a few places, which I think that maybe a little bit of running hopefully should fix. But overall, not a bad performer. I think the slow start was quite nice. Fairly decent speed. Oh, stopped there completely for a second, but she's carrying on. But yeah, you've got to bear in mind, I don't know how long these have been in the box for. I mean, I got these back in October and they've sat in the box for a good 3 months when I got them. But they could have been sitting in that second-hand Spanish model shop for quite a long time, which I have a funny feeling they were, especially if they're brand new. And she keeps going. So what I think I need to do, I need to leave her running in for a good, like, at least 15 minutes, and then obviously we'll come back and then we'll get the rolling stock coupled up to them and see how they perform with the rolling stock. So we now have the diesel locomotive down on the track, as well as obviously the flatbed wagon and obviously the Shell tanker wagon as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to give it a bit of juice, and fingers crossed it's going to perform for us. And it is. Performing very nicely. I think that running in has done it some good. overall I would say it's a very nice little performer. No derailments, diesel's performing fine, the rolling stock is performing fine. I think what we need to do now though is test it over the points. So let's see how it does. First set of points okay. Second set of points perfectly fine. So overall, I'm very, very happy with the performance of this, and I generally feel like the quality of the locomotive and the rolling stock is overall very good quality, especially for the price that I have paid for it. Slight little stall there, but overall I haven't run it in a full hour backwards and forwards. It's only been literally a 15 minutes running session, so if it was to run in a little bit more, I think there would be no issues there whatsoever in terms of this train set. But yeah, I'm happy with that. So what I think we need to do now is we need to stop the diesel, and then we need to obviously get the steam locomotive and the ventilated wagon down the track and see how they perform. So now we have the steam locomotive counters down on the track as well as the ventilated wagon. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit stop, we're going to hit function, we're going to hit forward, and we're just going to see how they get on. No power as of yet. There we go. And they're off. Put it at medium speed. So far so good. So yeah, there is the steam locomotive Calders running around the track with the ventilated fan. Overall, I think it's quite a nice little performer. There has been one or two little stalls there, but bear in mind, like I said, with the diesel locomotive, I have not run these in fully for the full hour there and back as you normally should. But overall, I think it's performing quite nicely. I think it's quite a sensible speed as well for this. A little bit noisy perhaps, but an acceptable speed considering this is about 50 in terms of what it's doing, and it's just stalled there. But like I said, I have not run this in properly. I think overall the quality is fairly decent. Like I said, there's definitely metal inside the rolling stock, and the running plates on the diesel and the steam locomotive are definitely both metal, hence why there's quite a little bit of weight to them. They are mainly made out of plastic in terms of the bodies, but I think the metal running plate, die-cast running plate, is certainly worth it. I'm a little bit disappointed. I looked through the box, there was no detail pack, so what you actually see on the front of the box, where the diesel's got the railings on the front and the chains, and obviously the loco's got the coupling chains as well and everything, that is not included unfortunately, so I think that's a little bit misleading. But again, like I said, for £80, I didn't pay full price for this. £80, I think it's a bit of a bargain. 2 locos, 3 bits of rolling stock, and of course, obviously, you've got the power pack, the DCC power source, and the track itself. I think it's fairly a bit of a bargain. So yeah, guys, that has been my review of the Ibertren Start DCC Ready HO train set. I really hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please consider giving us a like, comment down below and subscribe. Please comment down below if you actually do know of this train set and what you think of it itself. Like I say, Ibertren as a whole, not a company I know of whatsoever. So when I saw this, it was a bit of an oddity. I had to have it. I think in terms of the quality of the trains, I generally do think they're worth it. Definitely do think they're worth it. And I think the rolling stock, I think that Shell tanker wagon is really, really high quality. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know what you think of Ibertren company as a whole if you do know of them, and we will see you in the next review. See you guys.